Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for July 20th through the 26th, 2020. So before we begin, I'd like to just remind you of the special offer for an angel reading for $77 for an hour, so that the half hour usual price is $77, but for the month of July, and most definitely during the time of the corona, we'll be having the this special offer wherein the $77 half hour will be extended to a full hour. So there's nothing to do. There's no separate button on my services page at theangelschool.com. You just would click the same link for the half hour, and when you submit your payment, within 24 hours, I'll send a confirmation email, and it will state that you're receiving that half-hour rate for a full hour. Okay? So it's still available to those of you who would like to take advantage of that. And also, just want to remind you about the Angel Scope signs. So we're doing the zodiac signs, and those videos are on my channel as well. For each zodiac sign, your archangel for the month, their message, as well as an additional message of support from your guardian angel. Okay, so check those out if you haven't done so already. And also, don't forget that we have the daily card messages posted here now on YouTube, as well as they are posted on my Facebook page. So please make sure to go to one of those pages. The links are below. Like, subscribe, and we look forward to having you join our Angel School community. So now let us take a deep breath together, and let us really sink in with the energy. And they're just reminding me of one more thing. I need to say it because people may be dismayed if you don't hear from me right away. As far as the readings or any contact that you try to make with me over the weekend, I'm not working in my office. And so if you submit a payment this weekend, just wait for me to respond to you on the first weekday of the week, okay? And I'll get you that confirmation email right away. It'll also send instructions for you to submit your availability so that I can schedule an appointment for you. All right. All right, so let's take a deep breath again. And as you breathe in another breath, allow yourself to be aware of the general picture of your life right now. And just whatever comes to you. And they're saying this is just the general picture of yourself, where you are at this moment in your life, and who you've become because of all that you've lived. And as you just take a deep breath, just be aware of that through your own heart energy. So as you breathe in and just connect in with your heart space, be aware of the energy, the frequency, the signals of information, because energy really is transmission of information. And be aware of that data. And be aware of where your heart is calling you and where it really desires you to be focused with clear intention. And do this without judgment or criticism, but with compassion and understanding. It doesn't matter what you become aware of. There's nothing for you to try to fix in the moment. Just be aware. Don't start creating a list. And what they're saying is as you bring this full awareness, this compassionate view, you bring transformation and healing immediately enters that scene where it is needed and where you needed more understanding, enlightenment fills the heart space. So in being aware, observing, and listening, this energy, the data, the information of who you are, there is an expansion and a relaxation. They want you to know that your heart is always giving birth to something, and that you are always full of hopes, dreams, and desires. And this is never ending. And you'll never accomplish everything that is there, nor is it meant for you to do so. But they are there. All of this information, this energy is there to inspire you. It's there to inspire you to move forward so that you don't stagnate. You are a creator, and your heart is the center of inspiring what you will create next in that very moment. And so you have to allow yourself to take in the abundance, the plenty of your heart, and feel safe and secure. So they're kind of showing me that a very thin trunk, so thin it looks like an umbrella. And it's interesting how it did that, because it means that you need to really focus this week. You need to really be aware of the general view of you that the universe has. And the Archangel Nathaniel is coming through, and his name means the gifts of God. And he's reminding you that your life is a gift. And he wrote the word ornament, and that you have the ability to adorn your life with whatever it is that you choose. But what you tend to choose is lack rather than opportunity, love. You tend to run that picture, that scene, or that story of inadequacy rather than joy. And I just saw the word folly. And maybe you're just a tad bit too hard on yourself. Maybe a little cynical as well. And maybe that's so that you're just trying to protect yourself from feeling discouraged or or disappointment because you feel you've let your heart down. And that thin tree trunk, which means that you're not channeling, you're being distracted a lot by the negativity, and that's causing stagnation. But it created sort of this umbrella at the same time, which is saying that you are safe. The umbrella is so huge that this, for one person to have all of that security seems odd, maybe selfish, but it's just how much you are really worth it for the universe to keep you safe and to give you as much room as you need to feel that way. And so they write in the angel number 3, and I felt more like it was the numerology about giving birth, expansion. And they're saying to have faith. And of course, as an angel number, it would mean that an ascended master like Jesus or any of the ascended masters that you are working with are assisting you and helping you. And they really want you to have hope. And they're saying that you allow things to lure you away from that happiness. And then you feel less. This is the word they're writing. Less and less and less. And that feeling of less becomes your definition, your new definition for what you believe you can bring to the table, so to speak, or that you can manifest. And so it's a sort of a I don't know why they keep writing the word punishment a lot. So maybe some of you, because they're writing this word suffering, maybe some of you, think to yourself, well, I did something to deserve this. That would be the energy of punishment. You don't do anything to deserve anything negative. What negativity really represents is, as I've said to you, fear, the energy of fear, which is a lack of clarity about your truth. So when you're feeling confusion, it means that you're not focused. You're telling a story that's not really the one that the Creator endowed you with. And that's what the thin tree trunk is all about. And even in that time, they extend the security net over you to make sure that nothing can really ever harm you, even though the illusion will appear that it will. And if it does, only you can make that happen by feeding with your beliefs that that is possible. And this is not for you to feel ashamed of your attention, but just keep coming back to your intention. What is it? What is your intention for today? Set an intention. Now, they're showing me a mailbox, and they wrote before, as I was saying, set an intention, right? And I felt like it says, like, before you look at something that comes in the mail, so I feel like something's going to come in the mail, and before you look at it, whether it's, if it's any form of communication, before you look at it, you set your own intention for how you wish to respond to this. Don't let this penetrate your alignment and throw you off. And they wrote September safe. So whatever it is, by September, it'll be resolved. Okay? Just so it'll work itself out. It may take some time, but by September, it will be everything will be clear. And so I would ask you, like we were talking about last week and maybe in the Daily Card messages last week, to seek out clarity. When you have confusion or you dislike something, get clarity about it. Don't just let that be a dislike based on an opinion or suspicion or just, by judging the cover. of the book, of a situation, make sure you know why. Make sure you have real evidence that you've experienced or seen or witnessed about something to know that that's how you feel. Because your ego might be projecting an illusion of fear, confusion, so that you sabotage a real opportunity. And you want to make sure that you're going with the flow. They're showing me a waterfall, sort of almost flowing from a book. So it's like, go with the flow, follow the information, follow the energy. And energy has information in it. But the energy is leading you to the information so that you can have sort of an example of it in the physical realm. All right, so I feel like they want us to take a look at the cards. So let's begin with the Archangel Oracle. Okay, so we have the words here is Archangel Raguel, whose name means the friend of God. So Archangel Raguel's energy deals with harmony, cooperation, collaborations, anything that you would think about when you think about relationships, friendships, people working together, and that harmony and that balance that you would want. So the card is titled Relationship Harmony, and it says, we angels are opening up the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. Okay, so there is something that you might. I've seen an airplane on the runway, and so they write the word personal. Okay, I don't know what this is about. I don't know if the airplane is literal, meaning that you're going to be going on a trip, and maybe. Or maybe the idea is that, and they're writing the word East, I don't know, something for August I'm seeing. And this, whatever, if you're going on this trip during the month of August or any trip, this is in alignment, okay? So what I get the sense is they're going to be bringing a lot of things together for you. You're feeling like you're getting some signs. So, and this could just be about launching something as well. The airplane could be symbolic rather than literal for some of you, that you're planning to launch something. And all that same information applies. They're guiding you. Yes, the alignment is real, trusted, etc., that kind of thing. They're just showing me sitting back, relaxing, but they're also saying don't dissect. Okay, so it's like I'm seeing a person and I'm seeing cat paws, and the cat has its nails drawn, and it almost looks like the person is sleeping and the cat's turning them as if the cat is trying to heal them. This is really weird, like a tabby cat. So it's in stripes, and but the thing is that he or she may accidentally scratch someone, cut them. Now, I've never owned a cat, and can't say that I know a lot about them. But if for some reason the cat, it seems like the cat's trying to help the owner, and this is symbolic. It could be literal, but I feel it's symbolic, and it's about a relationship dynamic. And they wrote the word collision of some sort, in which the person's trying to help, but something happens where you trigger them, and then of course like the nails come out, because the nails are really used for defense, right? The cat uses it primarily as defense and for other things, but I feel like in this context, you drew out their defense mechanism and accidentally caused this rift. Now, the right and false accusations. So don't get caught up in this. Get facts. And what I'm seeing is that the human person is just sort of sleeping there, is like terribly in need of assistance, like healing or whatever it is. So if somebody tries to help you out in some way or try to make things easier for you or better for you, somehow you take it the wrong way. And just be aware of that. All right? That's not the intention, but your reaction could set off another reaction, which could cause them to attack without meaning to. So it's about really listening, really, where you have a doubt or suspicion, seek clarity. Go ahead and investigate. Ask the right questions in a non-threatening way. Be compassionate and understanding, seeking to have understanding, and they will get your drift. Everybody will get your drift when sincerity is your intention and not your personal trauma, sort of just flaring off. All right? Okay, so let's take a look at the cards for the week and see what we have here. Justice card. Okay, so this is about, and look, the tabby cats I think that's what they're called. That's exactly the cat I was seeing. And she uses cats a lot. So like she used for the strength card tigers, but two, where we don't usually see, and we never see them here in the justice card. But it's interesting because these two cards often get switched. People disagree about whether justice should be 11 and or 8, and the strength being 8 or 11. So it's just interesting. But anyway, and here it's like, you see her with those scales, and kind of indicating for you, and I'm drawn to the lines here, this pattern in the grass. So this just reminds us of our human sort of our human patterns, our habits. And sometimes things just fall where they may, and we have to remain balanced. We have to remain compassionate. That's where that balance will come from, compassionate and understanding. And that's where the fairness really comes into place. So I really feel like, this card is about fairness, being fair to yourself and to everyone else by being aware of the truth. Focus on truth. Set an intention to be clear, to have clarity. So the thing is as you read energy, as you're feeling the energy, as an interaction is unfolding, you can feel where confusion is starting to augment, or where clarity is starting to augment. And what you want to do is you want to keep following that. You want to keep, if you feel that energy still needs to expand, then you keep fostering that clarity until you feel a sense of freedom for everyone. Okay, so that's going to be really important. And I think it's so interesting that in my vision I was seeing the tabby cats, and here, sort of like the strength card, where the tabby cats, they're all in full cooperation with one another. And I think that the thing that they use in the animal versus human is almost like sometimes we see each other as like two different species, or like, because of, it could be because of racism, it could be because of there's just so many ways that we separate ourselves, based on our financial status, I could go on, man versus woman. And so we keep looking at each other like we're strangers, when we're not as a human race. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. Oh boy, see, we have those swords. And here's her sword. And it's interesting because in this Justice card, she has her sword down. And it's all sort of, I don't know if it's the right way to say it, but it's sort of that spiritual, I'm going to lay down my burdens, right? And she says, put down hers and study war no more. So it's like she's put that sword down to study war no more, but to focus on balancing energy instead. Okay, the sword kind of represents truth and communication and intellect, but she's here to study war no more. She's here to balance energy. And now in this card, we see a complete distortion of the information, the communication. It's refusing to see what's going on in the present. And I'm just going with this interaction strategy of, she's looking forward. So far right now, everybody in the cards are looking forward. And so that's, truth can only be found in the present. And when you refuse to confront the truth in front of you, not what you think you know based on what has happened to you in the past, then you'll be more successful in how you create relationship harmony. You'll be more successful in how you create any type of success in your own life. This is how we prosper. This is how we rid ourselves of stagnation, is by seeking out clarity. And I know it really sounds like we've been just drilling this for the last couple of weeks. We've had the Queen of Swords come up so many times. I'm going to have her come up again in this next week's readings, daily card messages. So there's something that we need to clean up house about. And the thing is, instead of trying to fix your problems around like confusion, what they're trying to say is focus on the intention of being clear. Focus on clarity. Implement this new habit. Go the extra mile to have clarity. And so this card just really talks about, creating your worst nightmare. You create your nightmares by not paying attention to the train of thought that is mounting into something that is just, it's just anti the universe. It's anti-love. And it's our job to get back on track by looking at the change in our outlook about the world. Because if we settle for hopelessness, if we settle for that, and that's what the universe is going to have to start presenting to you, because you are the creator. Your signals of belief are very, very powerful. And just like here, you can create the nightmares for yourself. Okay, so let's look at the card for, look at that. I cannot believe it. Speak of the devil. Wow, I've had to write on this card so much since I started using this deck. And, you think to yourself, what am I supposed to say about her now? But one of the things that has really struck me about this particular card of the Queen of Swords, and see, we have everybody looking forward. So right then and there, she confronts with compassion. Her eyes, look at her eyes, they're full. And, all the queens have the work with the water element, plus their sign, her suit element, which is air. So her eyes are full of love and compassion. But her headdress tells you that she's a no-nonsense kind of person. And she's here to clear up any emotional baggage, clear up the confusion, to help you to get clear that dust off the surface so you can get to that real beautiful shine that is within your spirit to be radiant, right? So she's really coming in and it's so interesting because we have Justice, and you would almost want to think of the Queen of Swords as the Lady Justice as well, right? So we have this, that in order to be clear, in order to be fair, we have to be clear. In order to have harmony, we have to be clear. And sometimes we don't want to confront the truth. And, here we see her. She's got that sword right around her neck. That's her necklace. It's like, ouch, right? The way it's placed there. But it just shows you that, when she opens her mouth, ouch. But it's out of love. It's the kind of love that is to kind of like, sort of put you back, take you out of that coma you're in, to shock you out of that coma and set you straight again. Set you straight on your path of truth. So they're telling me, like, if there's got resentments or anything like this stuff, you need to let it go. You need to really concentrate on your energy, pay attention to what it's creating. And you'll know what it's creating by the way you feel. If you feel confused, then you should expect that you're going to create this nightmare and you're going to start to experience more confusion. I mean, it's just simple as that. If you're feeling successful, she's writing out, if you're feeling that way, then you need to expect that more success is on its way. More experiences of success are on the way. You need to get clear, first of all, with yourself about what kind of energy you are playing with. And they wrote extinguish in big letters. Like, you need to extinguish those fires is what it was. You need to really, because some of you got a lot of things going. Fires are burning, a lot of contention and animosity, it may be happening around you, and you may be the sweetest person in this pie. That's what they're just telling me. But you know why it's happening? And it's like, you say to yourself, but why? Because you may be angry at yourself silently. Or you may be holding back from expressing, as they're writing out, expressing your truth to people, and it's turned into resentment and anger. And you're the nice person in the world, and you say, well, why do people always, why do this confusion comes around me? Or why are people jumping, snapping at me all the time? It's not them. It's your sort of nightmare. Your worst nightmare, worst case scenario, is to be snapped at. And so you try not to do it to other people because you don't like it, but you're holding things in. And it's not that you need to just yell at people, but you need to speak for the purpose, for the sake of clarity. You need to say it. You need to, acknowledge it, your feelings. Okay? And they're sending, for those of you that really can't, like, oh my God, I can't do that. Write it down in your journal. Start there. Start writing about it in your journal. Start drawing anything that will allow you to express this and get it out. And then change your social habits so that when you're out in public and you're in social settings and people say things, don't suppress it, but acknowledge it with compassion, without criticism. Seek to be clear. Seek that clarity, meaning get the evidence. Don't assume that somebody's, poking fun at you. Don't assume that. Say, confront them about it. It was like, am I to think that this is what you're doing? Because I just want to make sure, because I don't want to, make such an assumption, then it creates some kind of animosity or something between us, or some uncomfortable situation. And that might just disarm them from them, but oh, wait, I didn't really think about it that way. And, I would not want you to feel like, you just seem so, sometimes you just seem so resilient that it seems like it doesn't bother you because you don't say anything. You get it? So just that kind of paradigm might be playing out, okay? All right, so the card from the bottom of the deck, and in the tarot, the sixes represent this sort of cooperation, harmony, collaboration energy. So the Six of Coins is about, fair exchange. Let's put it that way, especially since we usually have the scales and he's holding them there. You may not be able to see it. Made like little acorns, but he's holding the shells there. And you can see the acorns, they're rationing them out. Okay? So, you may want to think about fair exchange as also another way of looking at compromise. Instead of, we hear the word compromise, we think we're giving up something. But maybe instead look at it as a fair exchange. Something that where you can start to exchange energy in a way that seems fair to you and fair to them. Okay? So this card might indicate that some kind of opportunities, as we reminded now of Archangel Nathaniel, whose name means the gifts of God, that in this week, people may be trying to give you something. And you may take it the wrong way. You may take it like they think you don't, like your pride may get in the way. And this may be maybe too general, but it could be that, you need help and you're too prideful to ask for it, because that's sort of what happens in the Five of Pentacles before. They're standing outside that church, but they don't go knock on the door to get the help. It's there. The church is there. There's a place of refuge, is what it kind of symbolizes. And instead they're just walking out in the cold, walking past it looks like. And so don't let your pride, when you need help, don't let your pride stand in your way. The card that comes after it is the Seven of Pentacles, where it looks like he's waiting for the rewards. And so, but he realizes this is a good investment. It's going to take it's like a long-term investment, because it's going to take a while before things kind of pan out, but it's a worthwhile one, right? So it's worth the risk. So, here, you may be in this stage where now the opportunities are starting to even out for you, and you just got to be sort of open-minded and flexible is sort of what I'm getting. But in terms of the relationship thing, if somebody is trying to extend that help to you, don't create a problem where there isn't. Check your ego, check your pride, all right? Don't cause somebody to, because the way you behave, cause them to draw their nails, going back to our cat scenario. I think that was so clever of the angels to have all that stuff. And everything that showed up today was like something I mentioned before we saw the cards. So I think this, the Queen of Swords is important for an attitude to adapt in this week. Think of keywords I'm feeling: fairness, fair exchange here, in order to create these things create a natural habit of harmony, clarity, fair exchange. All right? So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week. And I look forward to hearing from any of you that will be signed up for a reading this week. God bless you.